he has some work stuff at the. I guess he has some work stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I assume they'll be here when they be here. Like,
yeah.
This'll be easy.
Luigi's pinball.
oh, Luigi's pinball.
Oh, that's what Dragon said. I was just reading the chat. Let me go grab this. Ooh, Thunderbug. My only hope right now is that it actually exists. Oh, the Wave 2 DLC and distribution system is killing me waiting for news. Yeah, I guess since we got Strikers news this week, it's probably gonna take a little bit. Mike.
I'm
thinking.
guessing probably next week.
Yeah.
Faster.
Also, apparently, someone managed to get an early copy of Xenoblade.
I want to know nothing.
Well, you already know what that means.
Yeah, I don't want to know anything.
Neither do I.
I already know everything I need to know about the game before playing it.
To preemptively do the same thing for when Bayonetta comes out, because I honestly don't want to know too much about it that we don't already know.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there was a lot of information that came out of Bayonetta 2 before that released.
Do we plan on doing any community races for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe when Wave 2 comes out? Absolutely.
Yeah, they probably will. We did something like that for Wave 1.
Yeah. Like, we'll definitely make time for that, as always.
I remember it very clearly because I remember the entire night asking for Paris Promenade to show up, and it never did for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to give away another gift card for when that happens? That'd be great, Mike. Because no matter when it comes out, I look forward to it.
At this point, I'm expecting it's going to not necessarily be a shadow drop, but I imagine they'll announce it like within a week of it dropping.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a couple days before. Nintendo's
Probably.
really like doing that lately with stuff.
I guess because of the fact that, like, considering that there was no E3 and they wanted to change their patterns, because I've been hearing that supposedly they wanted to change their patterns, but to what extent? It's only a mystery, as always.
I mean, I feel for a while they've kind of they've done E3 out of obligation, and they've done some decent E3 presentations in recent years, but like I think they really prefer just to announce things when they announce things.
Yeah, I do think that the next direct that's definitely going to happen is going to be a Splatoon direct, and we'll most likely get another Indie World at the end of the summer.
I don't know. I still expect a regular direct either this month or next.
I think a regular direct is probably happening in September.
I don't think they're gonna wait that long.
Because I think the next regular direct they're gonna do probably a final trailer for Bayonetta 3. And
I mean, they still have nothing though announced for August, so
yeah, they probably might not do anything for August, but they'll probably have something for December.
no, I think they'll have something for August. That's feel like they always have some sort of August release.
Yeah, Kirby Dream Buffet. Yeah, that's a good point.
That doesn't even have a date yet.
Yeah, that probably might be August.
Yeah, that's. It's not gonna be like a retail game though. It's just like a small eShop game.
Sweet.
Yeah, like I said, they're gonna do a Splatoon Direct on Keyblade. It's just a matter of like when. And what I think is gonna happen is that after they do the Splatoon Direct, they're gonna announce a global test fire.
I think they'll announce that in the direct.
Yeah. So as far as Advance Wars goes, like I know it's in February 2023. What I looked
I don't
into the
believe
whole
that.
thing.
I don't
You
believe
wanna know
it.
I looked into it, and the person who said that came from Europe. Plus, I'm thinking that is a placeholder title. I think that's a placeholder.
Yeah, I don't believe. For one, there's still the existing rumor that it's coming worldwide by the end of the year, with Europe getting it later in the year than us.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's nothing to disprove that rumor. So it just means one of those rumors. Not both of those rumors could be true. There's no reason though the February one is any more likely than the other rumor.
Now, another rumor is another game that's being held back, like Advance Wars, how that's being held back because of the war. There's another game that's being held back apparently, which hasn't been announced. It's apparently the remake of GoldenEye.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, if in the event that's actually true, although the only reason people claim that it's going to be true is because of the fact that there was those Xbox achievements.
I feel like we've heard GoldenEye remake rumors before that have not led to anything. I don't. MGM is really hard to work with, I think.
Yeah.
And most rumors are just things fans want to see, and somebody just decides to say that it's coming, make a guess, and then it turns to a rumor. So yeah. I don't believe rumors. I think they're all just.
Though
I can say just about anything and be like, well, it's a rumor because I just said it.
I usually take rumors with a grain of salt. I just don't mind conversations, but
Sure,
I never
sure.
truly like go out of my way to say that it's actually happening, unless now if there's a leak, that's a different story. But then again, at the same time, leaks could also be fake.
Yeah. I mean, for a leak, I guess it depends on. It depends a lot on source. Like if it's a data mine leak, generally, with like it's easy to confirm a data mine.
Yeah.
Granted, data mines don't always mean it's something that's coming. Sometimes it's just cut content.
Another thing that people really need to understand is that even if something is true but isn't exactly shown off, what people need to understand is that plans can always change.
Yep.
Like even if something does come out that was rumored, it could be different from what was originally rumored too.
Generally, if something hasn't been announced officially, there's a reason for that, and that's because they don't know if it's going to happen.
Exactly.
So anything that's a rumor or a leak is already the fact that it is a rumor or leak means that's even if it came from a place of truth, it could just change.
Yeah, how there was so many rumors for years about, like, for example, like what Keyblade brought up about Smash, how people have rumored Sora for so many years and no one believed it, and you can't blame anyone for not believing in any of the rumors about Sora at the time, and then now it finally happened.
Yeah, I think that's unrelated. I think that was just people being hopeful and just making blind guess based off of character popularity.
Oh yeah.
I don't think any of those rumors were actually based on any information somebody got.
I do.
This should fix it.
I would not be shocked if there were characters that were planned that were scrapped for one reason or another.
I'm sure there are. And most we will never hear about. The only ones we might hear about are ones that appear in later games if they decide to talk about and be like, hey, we originally wanted this character in an older game.
Let's see. Oh, an AMA. Biggest difficulty spike in a video game for me, it has to be the cross-country golf in Mario Golf Super Rush. Those goes to a fucking nightmare. Oh, no, fuck that shit. I hate it.
Biggest difficulty spike. I think I could say objectively, not even my opinion, that Undyne from Undertale and Genocide are out because the game was like mind-numbingly nothing until that.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm doing my best to use that Enigma. Let's see. Biggest difficulty spike for me. I gotta really think about this one.
What can be a bigger difficulty spike than that? Because there was no difficulty before the Undyne fight in Genocide Room. You can argue Sands, but there was a couple hard fights before Sands.
Yeah.
I will say the final boss Tropical Freeze is pretty big difficulty spike though.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I don't think it's the biggest, but it's definitely a big one.
Yeah, it's not the biggest. It might be the biggest in like one of my favorite games.
Let's see. Big difficulty spikes. Let's see. Oh, it's almost dead. To that thing. Whatever, no matter. We'll take care of this thing right now.
Well, just mean we gotta beat it up with this. Oh, that was a nice attack. I like that one. Ah, jerk.
Here comes the pain.
Not the biggest difficulty spike, but playing Mario 64 and like some of the stages, I felt like the difficulty gap definitely climbed up a bit, especially Rainbow Ride. Fuck that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't call much of anything in that one spike though. It's pretty gradual in Super Mario 64.
Yeah. Let me think of another one. Let's see.
Like I can't think of a Mario game that really has a massive spike. They're generally pretty
TikTok
pretty fair.
Clock is another one, Mike. Yeah, TikTok Clock, Rainbow Ride.
Though if we want a 3D platformer difficulty spike, Banjo-Kazooie, Rusty Bucket Bay.
Yes. Agreed. 100%.
And then it spikes right back down again for TikTok Woods.
The Secret Agent boss in Splatoon 2, yeah.
Yeah. I mean the Octo expansion wasn't like that easy though. It was a spike, but I wouldn't say it's a huge spike. It was just the hardest thing, but by comparison.
Yeah. What's the other thing? What was another one? The perfect run in Galaxy 2. I never finished the perfect run in that.
Yeah,
I never even finished the perfect run in Odyssey.
I'm not sure I even count like the bonus extra hard stages that are after the game for stuff like that as a spike, because that's the entire point. Is it's just a bonus challenge.
Let's see. Got a buddy ticket. Let's see, Argosi. Take everything here. Mercenaries. Alright, so 2 more missions to go. Rainbow Ride I had difficulty with because of the giant pit. TikTok clock had its troubles for me because of poor camera angles and being a tower-like level. I did the concept of TTC with the inside move, either slow, fast, or stationary, depending on when you enter the level. Alright. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like TikTok clock. It can be frustrating when you fall, but I like the stage in terms of late game Super Mario 64 stages, by comparison at least. I mean, I honestly don't love most of the stages by the second half of that game. It gets kind of brutal.
I am never doing 100% in Mario 64 ever again. I did it once. I'm satisfied.
I've done it numerous times. I'm never satisfied. I never enjoy it.
Well, I guess I'm satisfied in a sense where it's like, I did it once. I did it on stream. Don't ever need to do it again.
Fair. I just... the first, like, quarter of the game is good, but that game just gets... Like, if they... I think that's a game that really needs an actual remake, because the game's a good game, but the controls and the camera are so awful.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, like, with the exception of Rusty Bucket Bay, Banjo-Kazooie, I will agree with you, Mike, is definitely a lot more fun than 100%. I probably might 100% it again on my own in the future, but not Mario 64.
Yeah, Rusty Bucket Bay is the only part. That, and then, of course, the Grunty battle's kind of punishing, but, like...
Oh, yeah, the Grunty battle.
Any percent needs that, too, so...
Yeah. What else? I will say, another thing that I want to bring up is that, I will say, I'm trying to think of something about Ocarina of Time that I absolutely hated besides the Water Temple.
Alright, let's make it happen.
I don't love the Forest Temple. I always get lost.
Forest Temple is definitely, like, I still say that the Water Temple's worse, but Forest Temple is probably up there for me in terms of how, like, ridiculous it is.
Yeah, Forest Temple's probably worse for me. Then I guess... I don't know if I'd say a Water Temple or Shadow Temple. It's one of them is second and one of them is third. I don't know which.
Oh, yeah.
God, I don't... What weapon am I going to use?
Alright, let's make it happen.
Outside of Water Temple, Shadow Temple for me, that's what Tycho said, so...
I'll be here when you need me.
Yeah, Shadow Temple can get annoying sometimes, but I don't know if I would call it the worst.
I don't really like the Shadow Temple much. Oh, wait. I didn't eat Dango.
Yeah, go eat Dango. Oh, yeah, the bottom of the well. Yeah, that one sucks.
The which one?
The bottom of the well.
Bottom of the well isn't bad. It's fairly small, though, but it's also not a full dungeon.
Hey, Maverick, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Bean Dongos, yep. Alright, so let me go and grab my supplies real quick. Oh, it's just potions I need. After having a good dinner, yes I am. Alright, good. Good to hear. I know a lot of people don't care for the ice cavern due to it being puzzle oriented, but that's what I loved about it. Yeah, the ice cavern is really not that bad.
Ice cavern is fine, except for there's one specific room with a slide puzzle that's kind of irritating.
Right.
Like, it's Ice Cavern another case where it's just a mini dungeon, so none of the mini dungeons really annoy me because they're over so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What was the other-
Ocarina of Time in general doesn't have that bad of dungeon design. Though it definitely doesn't have the best in the series either. Twilight Princess might have the best dungeons in my opinion, and Skyward Sword might be second.
I still have to play Twilight Princess.
Well, you have done Skyward Sword. Ancient Cistern is one of the best dungeons ever from Skyward Sword.
100% agreed on that. I honestly feel like Skyward Sword gets way too much hate for whatever reason. Like, I know motion controls, but
it was the motion controls, and then people piled on after that. It doesn't deserve the amount of hate it gets, but it also has a big fan base that loves it a ton too. So
it's also because of the fact that I remember, like, there was so many great games that Nintendo put out on the Wii that people were absolutely, like, just shitting on because
I think the other things people don't like about Wind Waker, or not Wind Waker, about Skyward Sword, one of them is that you revisit areas multiple times, which is a fair complaint, but you go to different parts of the areas, and it keeps it interesting. And the other is fighting the imprisoned like 4 times, which, yeah, that is a drag.
So in regards to Nintendo's output on the Wii, I do think that the Wii has a mediocre Mario Kart, and in my personal opinion, the worst Smash game in the series.
I love Brawl.
I honestly felt like random tripping just killed the entire game for me.
I actually liked the tripping.
I hate it.
But I'm not a competitive player, so I like anything that
Neither am I,
brings...
but
I like anything that brings chaos, where somebody who's worse has a chance to just, by luck, be able to win.
I never played Metroid. I never really got to play much of Metroid Prime 3 because I wanted to finish Prime 1.
All 3 Metroid Primes.
That one.
All 3 Metroid Primes are excellent. Don't listen to what people say about Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime 2 is my favorite, and even if it's not your favorite, it's still a really good game.
Let's see.
God, I wish the trilogy would come on Switch.
I will say, Other M is not that bad of a game in terms of gameplay, but the story sucks.
I will always say that. I will always say Other M was a really great take on the gameplay. It's just, yeah, it's the story. The story is abysmal. Story has never been a reason I play Metroid. I like the story of Metroid games, but I play them for the gameplay, so that didn't bother me too much. But I do agree it has a pretty bad story.
Also, if I have to think of what I think is the worst mainline Animal Crossing game, probably the one on the Wii.
Wild World's worse for me.
Oh wait, I forgot about Wild World. Like City Folk is just not too much different other than adding city.
City Folk is second worst for me. Wild World's still worse than it for me, but
yeah.
I wasn't really crazy about either. I liked the GameCube one, and then I didn't really love another Animal Crossing game until New Leaf.
Yeah, New Leaf is great. I actually also enjoyed New Horizons.
I enjoyed New Horizons. There were issues I think it has that I wish it didn't, but overall I did enjoy it.
I want to see if they address some of those issues, or they did not address them. Like, what are your issues with New Horizons that you're not sure if they address?
It had, one of them is it had legitimately less content until updates. It came with less content, less furniture, less.
That is true. Like, though I think that they were going to speed them up faster, but obviously the pandemic did slow things down.
Stuff that was in the previous game, like diving, they ended up making a big deal about as extra things later on, which I think it should have had everything that New Leaf had and then build from there. And I don't feel like it got enough updates. It got a nice big update at the end, but that felt like too long after.
I feel like the big update was mainly like to circumvent like the fact that they wanted to do more updates, but the pandemic slowed things down, so they had to pick and choose what they could do. That's all I'm thinking.
And that's fair. And yeah, I acknowledge that the pandemic may be at fault for some of the issues I have with it. I'll
Said,
still say those are issues of it. There's a reason for them, but
I will say though, for New Horizons, in regards to my own issues with the game, and honestly, I know that I don't know if this was ever in any of the older Animal Crossing games, but being able to just like produce wood and all that stuff, like some of the crafting.
there was no crafting in previous ones. That was all new.
Yeah. I feel like they should have at least addressed that, and they didn't.
Yeah, that killed fishing for me, having to make bait constantly. I really quickly got frustrated with fishing. Like, if I could make bait in mats, that'd be great, but having to make it one by one was so annoying.
See. And also, I will say, I kind of wish people stop pretending that Pokemon Sword and Shield are horrible games.
They're not pretending, they actually believe that.
Well, because honestly, they're not. I mean, again,
they have their issues.
They do, but
they are definitely not the best games in the series, but they're also definitely not the worst.
Like, they're like in the middle of the road for me. It's nowhere near the worst game in the series for me. Like,
they have some things that are definitely do like better than pretty much any. Like, I think it has possibly the best cast of new Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Like, I love almost every new Pokemon they added in there.
Yeah.
The gym leaders, I think, is my favorite batch of gym leaders in the series.
Yeah, they're a really good batch.
Aside from maybe Kanto, and that's a maybe.
Also, I'm gonna say this right now, like, I actually like Hop way more than How. How from 7 to 7, like, I have a lot of issues with him.
I can't agree there. Wow, hold on, just slid on my screen. I can't agree there. Hop is one of the things I don't like about the game. My issue is that Hop's entire characterization is his entire goals in life is to be a great Pokemon master, and when he can't properly understand that his normal attacks aren't good against steel attacks, like, I feel like there's just such a dissonance. They could have made the AI better. They could have made him more competent. How was just as incompetent, but How didn't care about being a Pokemon Master, and I'm fine with that. He just wanted to eat Melisada, and I don't need every character to be that great of a rival, but if their entire shtick is that they want to be the best trainer, I think they should be a good trainer.
And yes, Cycle, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Like the climax of the end game, like when you're fighting
the story of the Sword and Shield.
The story, they definitely rushed it.
That was one of the worst things of it, was the story. It mostly happened off screen, and also, I get the logic that why do we have a 10-year-old solving these problems? We should have adults. Sure, but I am a player that wants to experience the story.
And they say, oh, we'll take care of this. You guys stay back. I actually hated that.
And I kind of like Chairman Rose as a character, but I feel like they did really poor job at him. Like, he should not have. There was no logic in his characterization, and I mean, Pokemon villains tend to be dumb, but like, he took it to a new level. But that being said, I still had a lot of fun with the game. I wish you could turn an experience share off. I do like the raid battles, the multiplayer raid battles.
I will say they handled the experience share thing with with Legends Arceus, way better.
Well,
than
I mean, that's a
Forza.
different type of game. Nobody's going to try to do a Nuzlocke of Legends Arceus, but you can't really do any challenge runs with any of the experience share stuff.
So you thinking they're not gonna that they're gonna have it and they're not gonna let you turn it off?
Yeah, oh no, I don't think we're ever going to get the option to turn it off again.
Yeah,
I saw a post that made some excellent points about Pokemon as it current stands, and that's the Pokemon Company, or maybe Game Freak, doesn't really. They don't know what they want it to be. They want it to be a JRPG, but they also want it to be a competitive online game, and those two ideas don't mesh. And there might be like a couple other things in there that they want it to be, but like they have some things that kind of just don't fit well together, and so the experience share is there because of the latter, the competitive side. It's quicker to get a team up, but it's less like a JRPG then.
Also, if you're ever gonna remake Pokemon games, don't ever do anything like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl ever again. Like, if
Yeah,
you're gonna
don't outsource it to somebody in Game Freak, because only Game Freak. Say what you want about Game Freak. Game Freak puts love into their games at least.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear people complain about Game Freak's like ports and stuff anymore, because they, like, even Let's Go was good in comparison to that.
I wasn't really the biggest fan of Let's Go, but
In comparison to that, though,
in comparison to that, like, Let's Go is
Let's
better
Go has
by default.
Let's Go has character. It has personality.
You know, I still have to play the Pikmin games, SNEScom.
Oh yeah, you absolutely do need to play the Pikmin games. All three of them. There's only three. There is not one that was on 3DS. We don't talk about that.
I hear mixed things about it. People say it's not bad. People say it's better than the Yoshi game, like Yoshi's New Island.
Okay,
But-
so I didn't buy Hey Pikmin. I played through the demo, but based off of my experience with the demo, it gave me the same vibes I got from Chibi Robo Ziplash or whatever, which is the only Chibi Robo game I played.
Oh god, G-Robo Ziplash.
It really seemed to suck out of Pikmin everything that makes Pikmin. And yeah, no, I mean, I guess good on you if you enjoy Hey Pikmin, but like the real ones you need to play are 1 through 3. I wish 1 and 2 would get Switch ports, but the Wii versions with the play controls are just as good.
Yeah. Zykel says a lot of JRPGs do XP share outside of Pokemon. It's either the characters not in the party receive less or none, with all the options sometimes get full XP.
Yeah, and JRPGs that do that have a higher difficulty curve to take into account for that. Like, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is the worst with that, because Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl did not change anything about, like, enemies and levels and stuff, so it's all the same, but with that experience share, so you wind up super over-leveled mostly. But, in general, ever since X and Y and they started doing that, it's just, there's not really been much challenge. Not that Pokemon is super challenging.
Oops, sorry.
No worries. You want us to capture it?
Yeah, just capture it. At this point, I don't even need to bother going over there if you guys are gonna capture it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, instead of risking killing it before you get back.
Yeah.
Hey there, Shady.
Hey, Shady.
But yeah, no, I definitely recommend the Pikmin games. Pikmin 2 is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Good job,
So
buddy.
apparently, Another game that actually supposedly got leaked footage was the Last of Us remake, and people are saying that it's the only difference is graphics, and that's it. No gameplay difference.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I never really was interested in Last of Us, so I don't know if if I decide to play other Naughty Dog games, I'm not sure if I would play that. I definitely want to play, but
I thought that people. I mean, this might have just been what people assume, but I thought that it was going to have like the changes from the later games. So
yeah,
if it doesn't have anything changed but graphics, the graphical change isn't even that huge, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
like I feel like it doesn't exactly need a remake.
What system was it originally on? PS3?
PS3, and then it got a remaster on PS4, like a year afterwards.
I don't really think if you're just upping graphics, I don't think anything really PS3 era and beyond needs one.
Yeah, and it's going to cost $70.
Yeah, if I want to play Last of Us, I'll just play an older one for cheaper. Then
because I know like Sony is really trying to push 70 as like the standard for games for the modern era.
It's eventually going to go up to 70. Maybe not this generation, maybe not even next, but it's eventually going to become the standard. Nintendo will be the last to adopt it.
They will be the last. They'll hold out to $60 as much as they can.
They'll have at least one generation where they are $10 cheaper than everybody.
Yeah, I think next gen is going to be that. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't implement in the remake the new mechanics in 2, such as enemies hearing you ruffle through your bags that was not there in the original. I know for a fact that I'm way more interested in playing the Uncharted games than I am Last of Us.
I played Uncharted 1 through 3. They're good games. The gun segments are kind of the parkour sections are where it's really fun. Story's alright. The parkour sections are fun enough that that's the reason I played through all 3.
Also, I think well, yeah, I'm just keeping my eye out to see it because I did message Sylver, so I'm just keeping my eye on that dragon.
I'm itching to get started.
What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah,
All right, let's make it happen.
like there's like a huge list of video game series I want to get into, and there's a lot of them that are from Sony. So
Yeah.
I got to do those. What's my favorite Mario Kart game? I'm gonna give you my top 3: 8 Deluxe, then Double Dash, and then probably 7. DS would have been the best one for me if it wasn't for snaking.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I don't like DS. I'm gonna try a thing.
Yeah, I do want to play the Ratchet and Clank games and also the Jack and Daxter.
Highly recommend Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Sly Cooper's another one I want to do.
Hey, thanks.
I haven't played Sly Cooper. Ratchet and Clank is just good, mindless fun.
Yeah. BioShock was so good. Oh my god, such a great game. Like now I'm actually more eager and ready to play 2. Not anytime soon, but
I haven't played 2, but I've played 1 many times, and it is really good.
yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay. Let me just make sure my items are set.
What is Bishop weak to? Oh no, sorry, wrong question. I keep asking you the wrong question.
It doesn't do any element. Yeah, does it? No, I don't think it does any elements. It does paralysis and poison.
I got nothing. No buffs.
Well, it increased your health and stamina at least.
Yeah.
I'm trying out a new horn. Let me know how you like it. It should be sharpening your weapons as I play songs.
Ooh, nice.
With any luck, you won't really need to sharpen. So
Yeah.
Let's do this.
okay.
Yeah, I've been using the Dango tickets.
If you use the Dango tickets, you have guaranteed skills.
Let's see. What else should I get into? Like, I have so many games in general I want to get into at some point.
I have a few games on your list.
Yeah. And my list is pretty big too.
And obviously, Kingdom Hearts, I'm sure, is on your list, but you need the right hardware, so.
Yeah. Let's see. I have Kingdom Hearts. Let's see. I know I have been talking about wanting to play the Yakuza series for a while, and that's something I want to do. Silent Hill's another one, but I think Silent Hill would be better suited for like Halloween. Might do the same thing for. There is actually a game I want to do, but I need to find a fan translation for it since it was only ever released in Japan.
Which game?
There's a Famicom game called Sweet Home, which, from what I've heard, is like the basis to the Resident Evil series, but it's actually based off a movie of the same name in Japan.
Yeah, I recognize the name.
I'll probably also watch the movie with subtitles if I can find a way to watch it. Also want to do because I gotta start thinking about like all the Halloween stuff I want to do this year. Like, I eventually want to do the Aliens games, especially Alien Isolation.
Oh, God. That game.
I think you didn't like it.
I watched like half of a playthrough of it. After the first third of it, I got really bored watching it. It had some cool ideas, but it just drags on too long and it's very repetitive.
I would not be shocked if people ask me to play Aliens Colonial Marines, because I've heard that game is just not good.
Yeah, I don't know what Halloween games I'd recommend. Might be able to do the Castlevania Game Boy Advance games then.
True.
Castlevania is a good Halloween series.
I also have the second Amnesia game to do, because I did the first one last year, and I enjoyed it.
Bayonetta 3 might be a good Halloween game.
Oh, I'm doing Bayonetta 3 Halloween. I'm starting it that day, Halloween Day.
Halloween Day? Ah.
Yeah, because Halloween Day is a Monday this year.
Yeah.
So, I'm still looking for some buffs.
I still need to, before that comes out, I need to finish Bayonetta 2. I need to. Somebody make me do that. I played all of Bayonetta 1, and I played, like, probably 3/4 of Bayonetta 2. I just need to finish it.
What part are you up to?
I think I'd be kind of spoilery if I said.
Yeah, DM me which one it is later on.
Yeah, but it wasn't that like it got too hard or anything. I just got distracted with other games. It wasn't that I wasn't enjoying it. I was. Though honestly, I hope that Bayonetta 3 really takes from a lot of Platinum's more recent action games in terms of style.
If I could think of one, they'll take from more than likely Astral Chain.
I was gonna say I hope they take some notes out of Astral Chain. That was one of the best action games I've played.
I'm honestly thinking that they're going to be making an Astral Chain 2. I think that's in the works.
I think that'd be a good early game for the Switch too.
Yeah. And I know that they have that Ultraman style game in the works, Project GT, which they said that it's still in the works. they also have another game they're working on. Because Platinum recently hired a former executive from Nintendo to be their new vice president.
Yeah, I'm sure they're eager to get Bayonetta 3 out after having some bad financial success with their other recent games.
Like, I will say that what happened with Babylon's Fall, I don't blame them at all. It's Square.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Square does that repeatedly with studios. They'll rush them, give them unreasonable deadlines, and then when the game turns out awful, they throw the studio under the bus. They did that with Crystal Dynamics with Avengers. So
They're gonna do that with Platinum.
I honestly, if I was in charge of a game studio, I would not work with Square. I would be like, that's a bad sign.
The Bayonetta doesn't sell well. They haven't even sold 1 million on Switch. Yeah, because the majority, like the problem is that like Bayonetta, while a great series, like it gets critical acclaim, has never really sold that well. Like it used to be Platinum's, like the first game used to be Platinum's best-selling game, but now one of the best-selling games now is Astral Chain. That did sell 1 million units on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bayonetta 3 will sell 1 million units. And I think the fact that they're releasing a physical version of 1, I think more people are going to get through the series.
Like, playing the Bayonetta games made me want to play more action-oriented games that are similar. That's why, like, I wanted to do Devil May Cry, and as Zyko said, I want to also do the original, I want to do the God of War games, like, I want to do the original ones.
Bayonetta was kind of an exception at the time for me. I enjoyed them, but they didn't make me want to play other action games. The two games that did that for me really are the No More Hero games and Astral Chain. Between those two, I'm like, okay, really, I should play more action games.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say something else, and I.
This is for my fellow hunters.
Yeah. Let's see.
But yeah, Dragon. I did enjoy Astral Chain a lot, other than when I got soft locked. But that's the story of my life.
There was another action game series I want to do, and that's the 3D Ninja Gaiden games. I definitely want to try them.
I did the demo of one of them on Xbox 360. I remember being very impressed with how detailed the gore was. That and how detailed the water was. I remember actually getting a little nauseous watching the water ocean waves. But I get some sick easy.
So, but as far as Devil May Cry Dragon, I've only did the first one, so. But everyone says 2 is the absolute worst. So, and then people say 3 is one of the best. I'm looking forward to playing 3 when I get there. For God of War, I gotta play those games. I know, like, the newest one is different.
The newest one is not only entirely different in gameplay, but pretty much unconnected in story.
Yeah.
Like, there's some nods to the older story, but that's about it. Out of God of War, I've only played, my first one was actually the new one, and then my second one was God of War 3, and that's all I played. I haven't played 1 and 2. I only played 3 because I had easy access to it for PlayStation Plus. And, I mean, the older ones are alright. They're not nearly as good. They're very mindless action games.
Yeah.
Ragnarok's really great, and I have to somehow fit that in this year.
Oh yeah. The Bloodborne of the Ninja Gaiden games based on difficulties. Yeah, the 3. Yeah, because I heard they're very hard, especially the third game for Ninja Gaiden. I'll have to try them at some point.
Okay, this horn doesn't do quite what I thought it does, but it's making it so the sharpness goes down slower. I will get to Devil May Cry soon.
Yeah, I know you still need to finish your King's Lock.
Yeah, and I probably am going to end up soon putting up a poll to see if people want me to do the post game for the King's Lock and go through Kanto.
But yeah.
I just got the 7th badge that last stream. I got both the 6th and 7th. I had a productive stream yesterday. So
I'm trying to. Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta do those. All the Ico games. That Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Guardian.
Only one of those I've done is Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is excellent. Shadow of the Colossus is probably one of the best games of this generation, in my opinion. I even got... I originally didn't... I only got to play a demo of it, and I finally got to play the full game with the like remake or whatever on PS3.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that was... I owned like 3 games on PS3, that was one of them, and it was definitely made it worth it for me.
do you think we'll get GCN and Wii games on NSO? No, we're not.
Wii games,
No.
absolutely not. GameCube games, maybe on the Switch too, maybe. The thing is, that's when games are getting big enough that they can be remade a la carte and sold for a retail
Yeah.
price, which is unfortunate. But I don't think Nintendo at this point in time would see that a good use of their money to put GameCube games on there.
I'd be shocked if they did, but I'm not expecting that. And even then, like, but I will say, there would be a lot more GameCube games than there would be N64 on NSO if that were to happen.
Oh yeah, GameCube definitely had a bigger library, even if the
And
GameCube had a small library.
Because at least it had a pretty decent third-party support.
It did. It wasn't huge, but it had some really good third-party exclusives.
It had a Metal Gear game that was a remake of the first one that people say is better. It has like one of the best Sonic games ever made.
I think it had some Resident Evil game that people like a lot.
It does.
Yeah, I'm joking. It has 4, Resident Evil 4, but of course that's been ported to everything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has lots of Sonic. It had like every Sonic at the time.
GameCube was a Sonic because I remember because GameCube had Sonic for a while, and well, the whole generation, but just the thought at the time of having Sonic on a Nintendo platform, to me, I remember as a kid, as a teenager actually, who grew up with Sonic, that was a big deal right there.
At the risk of upsetting many Sega fans, teenage me went, or was that teen? I think it was 12, not quite. Preteen me was actually kind of happy about Sega switching to third party because I finally got to play so many Sonic games. And Choo Choo Rocket, which I got like at release on Game Boy Advance. And Phantasy Star Online. I really was enjoying having access to Sega franchises.
Oh yeah. If I could pick one remake of the GCN and Wii era of the Switch, what would it be? I'll think of 2 games, one for each. For GameCube, I want to try to think of something that not many people would ask for, or at least talk about.
I mean, should I even answer that one?
Go ahead.
I'll always say Lost Kingdoms because I know I'm never getting a remake of that. From Software, please.
I mean, okay, maybe this one does get talked about a lot, but I still want it. And that's Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe, yeah. I'd love a remake of 1 and 2 of that, and I guess the fighting game spinoff.
I just want Beautiful Joe back so bad. Like, I feel like...
I wish that Billy Hatch from the Giant Egg got received better, because that would have been a cool franchise to have.
Yeah. Eternal Darkness would be nice, but the thing is that, would Nintendo have to pay royalties to the person that created it because he's actually that guy's a piece of shit?
I have
And
no idea. I don't know what contract they had for it.
like I know like Nintendo owns the IP, but I don't know what they would do with it.
Yeah. I don't know. The GameCube has such a large number of like masterpieces in my opinion. It's really hard to narrow down what I'd want like remakes of.